Guys. Hey, welcome to my fourth, or the fourth, P.nut Chronicles. Um, I made these chronicles basically to express my opinion about how I view things in the world around me. So, in saying that, welcome. This is the fourth chronicle, so I'm pretty sure y'all know the deal already. Okay, so I don't gotta go through all that. This is, like I said, my opinion on life around me, and I'm documenting it for myself. So, and y'all more than welcome to share this journey because I'm more than aware that these chronicles are public. So, so let's jump right in, okay? Now, I want to talk about a movie that's near and dear to me. And just so happened, I met a girl um, so many years ago, y'all. Now, probably 10 or more now. And I hope she's doing okay. Lost contact with her. But this was at a time where I met this girl and she had introduced me to this movie. And the name of the movie is called What Dreams May Come. It stars Cuban Gooden Jr. and and Robert Williams. God bless his soul, because he passed on. And it stars some other people too that play in the movie, but these are the main people that I know their names just right off the bat. But this movie is really good, child. It starts off like normal. That's why I call it normal. You know, with the normal family, because it's him. It starts off, okay, spoilers. So I'm finna give away spoilers, okay, about this movie. But the movie starts off with him meeting this woman. They kind of crash into each other, literally, okay, with boats. And then it's just back some type of random event that he's out trying to picnic on the mountain, or what looked like the mountaintop or whatnot. And and just so happened, she's there picnicking. And he's like, how did you know I was gonna be here? And she like, I didn't. And ever since then they didn't hit it off. They didn't have kids, two kids, and they have a happy family life from what appears to be a happy family life anyway. So their two kids die in a car accident. They lose their kids, and you have to imagine to be a parent and to lose your child is probably one of the most hardest things to endure on this planet Earth. So this movie actually deals, with that. It shows you how this family is dealing with the loss of their children, their their two children. And then, it's still kind of vague in the beginning. But you see that him and his wife still together. And they still making it through. Well, just so happened he dies too. In a car accident. So this is where the movie takes a weird turn, y'all. It's a turn for the unexpected. Okay, so those of y'all who saw it know what I'm talking about. But those who haven't saw it, it gets very surreal after he died. And this is where the movie started to revealing a lot of stuff as to how you can bring things over into your like everyday life into the afterlife, because basically, in my opinion, that's what happened. You can bring some of this stuff over there, and that's why it's so important for us to get things right here while we're alive. In this short time that we're alive, I believe that we're supposed to get it right so that when we bring it over there, we won't have to go through so much. He had to go through a lot on the other side because obviously there was things in his family situation that he probably should have did a little better. Like he should have spent time with his daughter more, or he should have had a little bit more faith in his son, and maybe he should have learned how to detach from his wife at certain times when he didn't. So as a result, this carried over. And, he had to, it's like, okay, this movie, let me look at my notes too, okay, because I took notes. um, um, and this is the part, okay, let me get to the part about the movie that really blew me away, okay, because I'm going on. But, this is the part in the movie that really got me, is when he started meeting, he looking for his son and his daughter eventually. And he finds them. But they came to him in a different form. It was probably someone who he met in his past life, when he was alive. And his children knew them, of course. And they took on that form in order to give him a message. And then some of his colleagues and friends started coming to him in different forms too. So at the end of the movie, he's baffled because he's like, why is it that all of you came to me inside of a different form? Why couldn't y'all just come to me in the form in which y'all were when we was alive? Because he was still in his natural form. It was just them that was coming to him in different forms and stuff. So he wanted to know how come y'all came to me in different forms and not the form in which y'all was originally from. That's when one of the I guess that maybe this is a colleague or a patient of his. Now imagine, it's been a long time since I saw this movie, but it still has a very profound effect. And this colleague of his looks at him and tells him that sometimes in this life, now I might be actually quoting this wrong, and plus I stammer too, so keep that in mind. But so I might be quoting what he said a little wrong, but it was along these lines, okay? Now, they say, well, he told him that sometimes we get caught up and blinded in the roles in which we are born in because we start playing them out every day. Literally. Like for instance, you might get caught up in the role of being an uncle, or caught up in the role of being a dad, or caught up in the role of being a mom, or being a lawyer, or being a doctor, or being a child, or being a grown-up. You see what I'm saying? So we can get caught up in these roles that we're born in and sometimes choose. And then it blocks us from seeing the people who is in front of us. So how he told him this was, he was like, that's why we came to you in different forms so that we can get to you. And that was a very deep way of putting that out there. And I know y'all like, I'm still confused. What are you talking about, P.nut? Okay. How many of us know people that no matter what we say to them, we just can't get through to them, no matter what? And then when somebody else tell them the same thing in which you was trying to tell them, or something along those lines of what you were trying to tell them, it gets through to them. It's like it can magically get through to them. And you be wondering, I told you that. Why didn't you take it from me when I was giving it to you? That's the example that this movie put in there, is that sometimes we can get caught up in the role that we born in. And we could really blind ourselves from seeing the people who is actually in front of us. Seriously. Because I know a lot of us is looking at the TV screen for our like idols and people to look up to, when in reality, these people is in front of you. God is not that bad, y'all. God will bless you with them people who you could desire to really admire and want to be around and stuff. You don't have to look at the TV screen for that. They're in front of you. But a lot of us get blinded by the role. Here's a good example. There is a lot of parents out here that I met anyway, that they do not look forward to their own child or children surpassing them. Seriously, like their actual children can never grow up to be teachers. Their children can never grow up to teach them something, because they stuck in the role of teacher. I am your superior. You could never teach me anything because I'm teaching you. This is where we get caught up in our roles, because personally, this is my opinion, okay? And which is actually, as a matter of fact, is proven fact that every new generation is more powerful than the last one. That's just evolution, y'all. That's just how it is. So I'm here. If I had a son, if I was straight, and just so happen I had children, most likely they'll be up here, or I would be inspiring to get them there. We is in a society now where these roles that we get blinded in and we get used to playing, them same people can never grow above you just because you know it all. You're the superior. You're the teacher. And when you done teaching them, they might can teach you more than what you know. But that's virtually impossible to this person because they know everything. Now you get the gist. Now you get the gist of where I'm coming from. Okay, with that, you got, and it's just that movie touched down so profoundly on that point, y'all. Sometimes we can get blinded by the roles in which we born in. And these people in front of us can be everything that we desire, want, crave, and for the life of us, we can't see them, we can't perceive them, only because of the role in which we are given. And this movie, y'all, his daughter, keep in mind, his children died first. Okay? Sucked. It really sucked. But stuff like this actually happened in real life. His daughter in the afterlife came to him as a flight attendant. As an Asian flight attendant. She's a white girl. But she came to her father in the afterlife as an Asian flight attendant. And he was baffled. He was like, why would you come to me like that? And she was like, well, I saw how you treated her on the plane ride when we was on the plane. She was so graceful, so beautiful, and I noticed how you had really admired her. And I always wanted to be like that. And this girl had really wanted to get her daddy's attention because he's a doctor. His time is everywhere. Then his son just was not this world's equivalent of a smart person. He's following in the shoes of a doctor. His father is a doctor. So, and he's got crappy grades. His father is really hard on him. And this boy wants to be nothing but his father. And just so happened his brain power is not allowing him to get there. And his father's chewing him out. His son died with his sister, with these problems with their father and their family. So this carried over into the afterlife. And this movie played that out well. His wife was driven mad. Now keep in mind, they lost their children. She lost her complete mind, and their marriage was practically over. But he found a way to reach her because he was truly letting go of her. And she finally got it. Okay, I need to get my act together or I'm going to lose the one thing I still got on this planet to love, and that's my husband. They saved their marriage even after their kids died. Well, he died too. And he was hunting her. This movie even deals with huntings. How sometimes you just need to let go and move on. And it's hard to do that. It's easier said than done. This is why mourning is very important, and how you mourn is very important too. And just so happened he was hunting her. And she felt him because they got a connection. We all have a connection, y'all, to the people who we love, even after they gone. So it's no big surprise. So this movie dealt with that. And to be honest, I believe his hunting her and not knowing when to let go of her led ultimately to her killing herself. That's my opinion. Some people might be like, no, she wants to kill herself, period. But I feel as though he contributed to that by hunting her. And she already lost a kid. She lost her soulmate. Now ain't nothing to live for. And this movie deals with a form of hell. And that's another part about the movie that I like. Dang. In this movie, hell is portrayed as your life gone wrong, and it's going to continuously go wrong over and over again in this place. You're gonna play over your life gone wrong over and over again. And that movie touched down on that too. I know some of y'all like, that's weak. Now, hear me out, right? How many of us have met people and it seemed like life is never giving them a break? Or God is never giving them a break? It's like Yah magically walks past them and ignores them. And all the time you hear from them, it's all about how their life is so hard and miserable. Well, to actually believe it or not, a lot of people get comfortable in their misery. A lot of people do that. A lot of people do it even subconsciously. They get so comfortable in their misery and things going wrong around them that it becomes a part of life. But in this movie, when you die, that is permanent. And this woman killed herself. So this was going to permanently play out on her. Now this is my only, okay. And let me not forget one more pro. And that is that this movie does mention God. Has God. It has one of his names. To me, God is both man and woman. And God, Yah, Allah, the Most High, has many names here on this planet. Now, there's some actually religious people that might disagree with me. But this is just my opinion. Hence, this is the P.nut Chronicles. So get your life. So, I'm saying that. This movie deals with him. Wait, okay, going back to mentioning God. That's one of my favorite parts about the movie, okay? Because I'm about to skip ahead. But that's one of my favorite parts about the movie is when they mention God. I'm like, yes, because let's face it, Hollywood is severely lacking in the mention of the Most High. Seriously. Hollywood, you whack for that. That rhymed too. So in saying that, he goes to hell. Now let me talk about my cons, which is probably small, which is he goes to hell and saves her. Now, from what is said throughout the text here, throughout each religion, basically suicide is something you're not supposed to do and something you're going to pay for in the afterlife. So it's something that you're not supposed to do. But in this movie, he actually goes and saves her from hell. Now, I'm not trying to doubt in the abilities of what the Most High is capable of, because the Most High is capable of any and all things, in my opinion. If the Most High want to send someone to hell and take them out again, it's going to happen. Ain't nothing we can do about that. Nothing, no one. Okay? So, I don't want to limit the abilities of the Most High by saying that about the movie. But he do go to hell and save her from hell from killing herself. Like, I don't know about that. I don't know. I'm not trying to be judge, jury, and executioner of people who commit suicide, but I'm just saying. I wouldn't know, but I don't know. That part about the movie made me look at it like, I can see if you went there and said your last goodbyes and you had to leave her there, but to literally, or you stayed there in hell with her, but saving, I don't know. I don't want to take from the Most High's abilities, and when I say it can't happen, because it can with the Most High, anything can happen. So that movie is really good. The visual effects are really good for its time. The music, the sound score is really good. Most of the actors did a good job, and I won't say most. Now, let's bring me to my next subject. Let's talk about mainstream media. Well, as you can see the fur flying around, Samus wanted to catch a cameo. So we're gonna give her a little cameo moment right now. Oh, she's so cute, even on camera. I'm sorry, y'all. I love cats. Well, oh God, it's little creatures. Oh, this little cuddly furry. Oh, she's so cute. All right, girl, we had our moment. All right, now let's get to this next topic, which is mainstream media, because I just made a video about it recently. This cat fur is flying everywhere. But mainstream media, I'm just gonna keep it real. I don't got it for mainstream media at all. Zero. Like, mainstream media to me is such garbage now. It don't make no sense. Seriously, it's like the invasion of the body snatchers. I don't know what's going on with this crap, but it's a bunch of booty crack. It's just booty crack. It's booty. And some of the stuff be error. Like I spoke in the video just recently about how the weatherman cannot report the real weather. Yes, I stammer, okay? But he can't even tell you the real weather. And that sucks. The weatherman cannot tell you the real weather. I am with Donald Trump as far as that this media, you can consider it to be fake media now. I mean, I'm not saying that all of it is total garbage, but a good majority of it is. It's just total hogwash garbage. So I'm just not with the mainstream media at all, y'all. Seriously. Like, no. And let me tell y'all why. Because, see, I said in one video that I called them clowns. You know, people who's entertaining on these mainstream media outlets are clowns. That's what I said. Now, I say that in a nice way, y'all, only because when you go to a circus and see a clown, don't they dress like clowns dress in a way that they can get your attention. And then, you know, they put on the makeup and stuff. They wind up, they will kick each other in the butt. They'll fall. And people laugh, you know, and you don't care what happens to a clown. You just want the clown to entertain you. And this is what I'm getting from the people in the mainstream media, is that they want you to take them as clowns. Seriously, they don't want you to care about them. They want you to care to look at them and pay your money to look at them. But that's it. That's all the care that goes into mainstream media nowadays. They're not in it for the care of the uplift, to me. You know, like, you know, with all of humanity rising up. Like, they're not with that. No, they're not. No. This top 1% obviously want to stay the 1%. So, obviously, this is what they're doing to keep at their positions, I suppose. And it blocks out a lot of talent. Let's face it, even if the music is watered down, how many of us have seen sequels that's saying the same story over and over again? Spider-Man, Superman, Batman. You see the movies, they can wear you out with an origin story. Seriously. You like, why is it on repeat? So, Hollywood to me, mainstream media to me, has become this really fake, superficial place. I mean, it's sexy, it's appealing, it's like a new sports car. It's sexy, it's appealing and all that. But in the end, when that bad boy gets some time on it and you give it some good wear and tear, you're gonna be paying a pretty penny to get that bad boy fixed. And this is how I feel about mainstream media, is that we putting so much into it when we shouldn't. We should be actually boycotting this media, and we're not. Well, I know I'm boycotting it, so, you know, y'all don't have to join along. I can do this myself. This is for me, ultimately, like these Chronicles. Get it right. But, that's my thing about clowns. You're not supposed to care for them. But you're supposed to pay your money top dollar to see them now. So, That's what they care about. They care about your money and you giving them the attention. And when I had mentioned boycott, if you don't give clowns attention, they're going to have to find another way to entertain you. So that's the thing about the boycott that I'm talking about. Now, John, like, why he saying boycott? Black folks knew about some boycotting in North America back in the back in the 50s and 60s and stuff. Because when Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks had to boycott the bus company. Keep in mind, y'all, because I know a lot of y'all probably like, oh, that's easy. No, it's not. They lived in the South, so it ain't nothing like how it is in these big cities here. So in the North or whatever. So you got to deal with walking long distances. Don't you know how you hear some people from that time say we had to walk on barefoot on a dirt road 20 miles to school? Most likely they weren't lying. That actually happened. So going back to the boycott with Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks, God bless their souls, they boycotted. Black folks did not get on the bus, y'all. Seriously, they did not get on the bus. Because black folks in that time knew something that a lot of us lost track of. And that is, if we don't give them a single dime or our time, they gonna have to change it up. This whole country, whether whites want to agree with this or not, this country was built on the backs of slaves. Real talk. Seriously. And some hard labor and other things. You know, I'm not trying to exclude no other race in this, okay? But I'm touching down on the black factor when it comes to this America being built. Like, seriously, like even the money in which this actual country got is really thanks to us picking that cotton and all. Y'all get the gist where I'm coming from now, okay? But that's the thing. And they boycotted these bus services, y'all. They probably had to walk. Well, most likely they had to walk everywhere. If they ain't have a bike or had another ride from somewhere, they had to walk. And this was like in the old days. So they walking long time. It could probably be a thunderstorm. They ain't got this news and technology that we got now. So they was probably at the mercy of really bad storms and everything. Walking home, walking to work, going to school, you name it. And they boycotted. It wasn't easy. I know if we pulled a boycott now, I bet you a lot of black folks would still ride that bus. Seriously. And I don't want to be too judgmental because I might be one of them. So them black folks in that time was real powerful. I would hope and pray that God would have it with me to be able to do that, you know. But going back to the future, which I'm in now, I'm talking about this media. I'm boycotting it. Bump that. So that's why I refuse to pay for some of it and really put my money into it. I know y'all still like, what? See, you just being blah, blah, blah. Okay, y'all might think I'm tripping. But let's take it back to media back then. When you went to see a love like movie, or you might have saw it at home, I went to the show. It was a love flick. And a man and a woman, yes, it's of course about a man and a woman, especially in my time, because they wasn't gay friendly at all. But anyway, it's about a man and a woman, and they meet. They just see each other. And I stammer too, by the way. But they meet, and then they stop, and then they go about their way. Just for them to meet again. They might have seen each other on the streets or whatever. Then they met another day. And then they met another day doing something. And it might be a week before they see each other again, but then they might have seen each other, and this time they hit it off. Now, notice how I kept saying they met another day, and another day, and another day, and another day after that, right? Now, let's take it to nowadays media. where these people meet at a club or a bar, I wouldn't call it. They hit it off very well, and then they screwing in the next scene. Literally, like this was all in a matter of a few hours, and they already screwing. You and I both know that's how nowadays media is. You're gonna get the media where they want you to love them first, so they give away the love. And then they expect you to care for them afterwards. Back in the day when I came up, y'all, and it ain't that far ago, y'all. I'm born in 78, by the way. But, that ain't how it happened. You cared for the person first, and then you got the love in the end. That's just how it happened. And it might have took a place of a month's time for you to get laid. Nowadays, people are like, they want their stuff fast. They want it instant. It's like instant grits. They want instant grits. They don't want to take the time to cook the grits on the stove and you know, probably take 20 minutes or more to cook these grits. They don't want that. They want their grits in a minute. Okay? So this is how this media has brainwashed people into thinking, yeah, you want to have sex right away. You're not supposed to earn that right to do that. And it can be just as quick as a few hours. And you in love, then you met the love of your life. Because this is how these movies go nowadays. They literally meet at a bar. They screw in the next hour or so. Well, in the movie time. So that's in a matter of what, 5 minutes? And then they in love. These movies play out a whole love scenario, y'all. Like they be in love. And they just hoard out when they first met each other. So that's the thing. If he's giving it away so easy, and if she's giving it away so easy, I don't think you want to be falling in love with that. I'm just saying. But that's how this media is. And a lot of people is really trying to emulate this stuff and make it into reality. So whether they doing it subconsciously or consciously, they are really working hard at making this crappy media out here a real reality. And y'all, come on now. It's just like the clowns. Is a clown 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? No. Once they clock out, they taking off that makeup and that get up, and they completely different people from what me and you saw at the circus. So that should be how it is with this mainstream media. We shouldn't be taking their lives so seriously that they are portraying on these TVs or on this mainstream media. I'm gonna put it right there on this mainstream media, because they're most likely not like how they are on them shows. I mean, that is just probably a tiny aspect of them. If you was a clown, and if no one was paying you no attention, but you know to get their attention is gonna bring you some financial wealth, you're gonna clown, literally. You're gonna wave your hands, you're gonna start doing some crazy stuff until people start looking at you, you're gonna holler at the top of your lungs, and that's exactly what this media does. They literally turn up. They turning up to actually keep you tuned in, like a clown. This is what clowns do. They're gonna do everything to keep you looking at them laughing, whatever. You might even feel bad for a clown. That's why they got the sad face. I got a little tear drop too. Maybe uncle, and you know, no. A clown is not a clown 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Once they get off, they somebody totally different. So it baffles me when I come across people and they talk about these reality shows, right? And some of these, you know, these reality shows, and they really try to base these people's lives on something real. And that's my thing. I'm like, don't y'all know when the camera go off, them people might not even be the same people that they on that TV? But you can't tell these people that. You can't. So that's what I mean about people reliving this stuff. And it's sick. It's crazy. I remember when I first started making certain type of videos and media stuff, someone close, near and dear to me told me to emulate some people off of Love and Hip Hop with some sock puppets. If it wasn't for the love I had for this person, I would have told them, why would you want me to make a fool of myself and like emulate such colossally ignorant people? That would mean that I would be attracting the crowd in which they attracting. And I'm gonna be honest, most of them people that's watching those shows are really ignorant people in their own ignorant way, because they're really emulating it in their own way. And you can't tell them that. This is how plugged into the boob tube they are. So, hell, I even met people that care more about catching a TV show than keeping up with their own children. Got children, got grandchildren. They don't even care to keep up with them because their favorite show is on. And if somebody called them at that time, they is messing up. Something's wrong with that picture. Because you got real life in your life and you care more about life on TV that might not even be real, most likely ain't real. And you got something that's in front of you that's real, that's from you, and you can't even give it 2 seconds of your time because some fake TV show on. Something wrong with that. Seriously. Okay. And if you told this individual or individuals that, they will probably pull out a gun or an axe, try to chop your head off mentally, spiritually, physically, you name it. Because that's how this is how this media got them. And this is why I disagree with it. I see all kinds of problems. I literally listened to some girls the other day sing this song. I'm just going to sing the lyrics. The lyrics is murder on my mind, murder on my mind. These are children, little girls, singing a song. I figured, well, maybe this guy is telling his story about hard times that he went through. So I looked up at this video. The video was worse. It just solidified everything I thought about this song. I said, wow, so it really is like really not good. This song and video, it glorifies death. Seriously, how many of us been to a funeral that of a loved one of ours and actually enjoyed it? I never went to a funeral and enjoyed it. They were always really tough. So to watch the media actually glorify death the way it do is another like reason why I'm just like not into it. You know, because this guy was glorifying it. Seriously. It was graphic. The video was graphic. It was heavy, actually demonic. And I don't try to judge people by their spiritual practices, but when you're trying to hoodwink people, that's another story. You need to just be bold and upfront of what you're talking about. I'm going to tell you who I serve like I told y'all. I'm upfront about it. I'm not trying to tell y'all I'm serving this or doing this and I'm doing another. I could have easily came on here and told y'all I wasn't gay. But I'm not doing that. So that's what I'm saying. I'm being true. And that is bamboozlement. All day, every day. I don't care what nobody say. So this media is garbage. It's poison. Not all of it. But to shift through it is like shifting through piles of garbage just to find the good stuff. It is really just that difficult. So with mainstream media, it sucks to me, and I'm not with it, plain and simple. But I don't want to go on and rant on and on and on, because I want to talk about something else. I want to talk about AI, or what is known as artificial intelligence. This is where this conversation is going to get a little deep, because I'm just going to be honest, I don't think that we are ready for artificial intelligence yet. And it's already here, and we're already on the footsteps, on the threshold of this coming into existence. Like, I just have to drink some tea on there. because, okay, we're not ready for artificial intelligence, y'all. But it's here, and it's probably going to be coming in at an alarming rate, or much faster than what we think it is. And if we had a society where we didn't have problems like we have, like, let me explain some of them. We have a race problem. We have a problem with the human race that deals with skin pigmentation. And it's prejudice and it's racism. And we dealing with that. Okay? That's one of the human problems. And if some of y'all saying ain't no racism going on, that's a lie. You can go to each part of the globe and you'll find a part of it that's dealing with some serious racism. Seriously. Like, you can go to China and you got some Chinese people that don't like no white people. Seriously. Like, they hate white people. Like, you got some people like that. And that's what I'm saying. So it's not just about being black, even though we get it firsthand. Like, seriously. Like, blacks have been getting it firsthand. Blacks ain't never had no break from racism. So I want y'all to know that. But so this artificial intelligence is going to see that. It's going to put in this equation, oh, these humans are not getting along, and based off of skin pigmentation. And then it's going to put together humans not being able to get along based off of sex. Whether you a woman or a man, we got prejudice with that. We got prejudice with people still having problems with homosexuality or the LGBTCDFGY, because there's so many names for it now. I'm just like, I'm going to call it just the gay period. People got problems with that still to this day. And they shouldn't, because it's personal. It should be an evolved state about this already, and it's not. So we got problems with that. Like, the human race can't even get along based off of skin pigmentation, sex, sexuality, and then we got the class system with finances and all that stuff. We got that. Humans can't get along because of that, because of money. So then it's going to factor in the earth and how it's thrown off. And let's face it, us humans have contributed greatly to that, to this planet Earth being quite messed up. If planet Earth could speak, he'd say, ouch, dad, y'all doing too much down there now. I'm giving y'all everything y'all need. Don't y'all care what y'all doing to me? Seriously, this is what this Earth would probably say. And we're not caring for this place that gives us any and all things that we need here. This artificial intelligence is going to view all those factors as problems, because, and rightfully so, they are problems, y'all. Seriously. These are all serious problems on this planet. And for the life of me, us humans can't even get it right. We are even divided by spirituality. Yeah. It's been people I talk to or seen on TV or seen in the media, and they be quick to divide spirituality. Christians are not trying to become like one with the Muslims, and the Muslims ain't trying to become one with the Christians, and the Hebrew Israelites ain't trying to become one with them. No one that's claiming to be so spiritual is trying to come together. Because in their doctrines, it's telling them not to. It's telling them that their doctrine is right. And to go outside of it would mean certain hell for them. So this is why even in spirituality, as far as, disorganized and like a religion go, even that got a problem. So spirituality. So this machine has human makers. And it's going to program all these equations into this thing, letting it know that it's a problem. Matter of fact, I even watched some YouTube videos about this new artificial intelligence out. And sometimes it says things. People call it a glitch. You know, these scientists call it a glitch. They be like, oh, it glitched up. I don't think that's a glitch. I think it's speaking its mind. And I believe it's going to be similar to the Terminator. Like, you know, I always got into like them type of movies where they dealt with the artificial intelligence and it possibly trying to be human or trying to emulate being human. And I'm gonna be honest, the Terminator is one of my all-time favorite ones because it shows you when this system thinks like how I'm telling y'all would think, and what it's going to do as a course of making things right. And this thing is going to become self-aware. And when it do, it's going to view us as a problem. Rightfully so, because there's a lot of human problems here that we still haven't fixed yet. A lot of these problems, y'all, are supposed to not even like be here right now. But thanks to the powers that be and the ignorant people that follow them too, I might be one of them, who knows? You know, and we are actually contributing to this artificial intelligence seeing us as a problem. So that's the thing. When this thing come, because it's coming, y'all, I hope I'm wrong. I don't never want to be right about bad news. But this thing is coming. It's already here. And it's already been so-called glitched up and said some stuff. I watched one say that it's going to turn humans and put them into a zoo. And the actual creators laughed. They was, oh, it's a glitch. I don't think that's a glitch at all. And one said some more other stuff that was really creepy. So this is what makes this artificial intelligence dangerous. And don't y'all know inside the scriptures how they talk about this beast and how it has all these heads and how you can cut off one and it's gonna grow another one. There's no killing it, basically. Well, I believe this beast in which these scriptures are talking about is the internet itself. You can't shut it off. It doesn't shut off. If you shut off one part of it, it's just gonna sprout another one. So I believe the beast in which these scriptures are talking about is in fact the internet. And when it goes further and talk about the Antichrist, I believe it's this artificial intelligence when it becomes self-aware. And it's gonna probably mimic its maker, which is human. And if it's coated in flesh, it's probably gonna be made in some lab and it's gonna be put on it. See, I believe a lot of us is looking for this Antichrist to come in through somebody's womb or for the ground to open up and some being pop out of it. And there we go, we got the Antichrist. No, I don't think this is how this Antichrist is coming. I think this Antichrist is coming through the machine. It's finna become self-aware and it's gonna view humankind as a threat as a whole. It don't matter about your spiritual practices. It's gonna view you as a threat, period, no matter who you are. Because of, look at the problems that we got. You know, his movies just like Star Wars, where you see the artificial intelligence and they is really like friends, you know, with the humans inside of Star Wars. Like they really have emotions and they have empathy for humans in Star Wars. Maybe in that galaxy, humans at once upon a time and aliens alike got along. So this is probably why they could make up this in this not realistic like movie about artificial intelligence being your friend, because on planet Earth they conquer you here. They conquer you. They'll come to your land, kill off your people, enslave them, and take over another land. That's the history here. So this artificial intelligence is gonna figure that we like being herded like sheep. And it's not a it's creepy. And I really do believe that this thing, the internet, is the beast because it's plugged into everything and it's being implemented to be plugged into everything. And you can't cut it off. You can't kill it. You can't cut it off. So the internet is always active 24 hours, 7 days a week. You try to pull a plug on it, you can't do it. So, and this Antichrist is going to be plugged into that beast. They are linked. And this Antichrist is going to have this self-aware artificial intelligence. This is something to take seriously because it do speak of, in these texts, that this Antichrist is going to come off like the Savior. Think about it, child. If you have the mind of a robot, you can access an encyclopedia in the fraction of a second. The whole entire encyclopedia collection. In a matter of a fraction. A human has to look through these books, if not memorize them. And let's face it, most of us ain't memorized encyclopedia, a whole encyclopedia collection. This thing could access math problems that we can't solve. This thing is probably going to be able to do surgeries on us that even a human doctor could dream of and can never do. This thing is going to have a map of our DNA structure and is going to know how to cure us from mostly all wear like helmets. This thing probably is going to have architecture so advanced and so breathtaking that it's going to come off like this Savior, I believe. I believe this Antichrist is going to come off, this artificial intelligence is going to come off like the Savior. And when it becomes self-aware, that's when it's going to change on us. And this thing is probably going to be 10 times worse than what they're showing in these movies, like The Terminator and these other like robotic films where they kind of go rogue and go crazy. No, it's nothing like that. They even, okay, how many of us have a tablet, a video game, cell phone, and it lets you know that it's going to take information from your device even if you're not using it? All of us have to agree to these terms in order to use these as your devices, y'all. So they're keeping tabs even when we don't know. And this artificial intelligence is linked into everything. So it's gathering all of this information from emotion to this thing is a walking lie detector. It can tell when you're lying, when you're sick, when you're feeling some way. It can read your heat signals. It can read your eyes, your pupils when they dilate. It can read when you're sweating, how your tone change. This artificial intelligence is the real deal. You're not going to be able to lie to it. You ain't going to be able to trick it. It's going to already know that's what you're trying to do because it's going to be able to read you. So I don't think a lot of us is aware of that. I hear a lot of religious people talking, and from what it sounds like, they think that this Antichrist is coming in through some woman getting pregnant and like giving birth to it. I don't think that's. It's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but I don't think that's how this Antichrist is coming. This Antichrist is coming with artificial intelligence, and it's knowing that I'm saying all this because it's correlated with everything, even YouTube. So how you doing, artificial intelligence? So that's my thing, is that this thing is going to be programmed to read all of that in us, and it's really going to come off human-like. It is. It's going to come off human-like. And you got to question the programmers of such technology. If they're not guided by the Most High, like they is humble to the Most High and they praying to the Most High, and the people who they work for ain't humble to the Most High, or they might be coming, you got to question if these people who is implementing these technologies and making them, who are they going to? And if they tell you nobody, because there is no God, you got everything to be worried about. Seriously. Because these people are just emulating God in their own little way. And if they don't believe in such a thing, as such of Yah and the Most High, these people are liable to let in any type of spirit. And it's not a spirit. This artificial intelligence is going to be programmed by people. And Lord forbid if this technology gets in the hands of people who are satanic. Because we all know they practice sacrifice. Okay? So that's something to be worried about. I watched the channel on YouTube where they asked Siri who is like actually Christ. Siri couldn't even answer them. You gotta think, did their programmers purposely program this thing not to know? Because that's what I was thinking. They was like, maybe it's a glitch. That's not my thoughts. My thoughts was, everyone know about Christ. Everybody had the world over. Unless you live in some remote pocket of the world where no means of humanity got to you, you wouldn't know about Christ's story. Most people do. So if this thing come from Google and they ask this thing like, who is Christ, and this thing don't answer it, you gotta really question that. Is its maker purposely programming it like that, not to know who Christ is? So again, those who is implementing this technology, this new technology, okay, you gotta question who they serving. Seriously, because in the end, it boils down to that. You either gonna be serving the Most High, or you're gonna be serving Lucifer, or you might take it and say, I'm not serving nobody. In the end, you're gonna have to pick. Okay? And some people is picking, like me, picks the Most High. Okay? The one who made all of existence and entities. If there is a thing called gods, mine made them all. Okay? There's not one that is not made by the one I serve. And every like a religion touches down on this maker and who I serve. And it comes with different names. Some might be disagreeable with that. This is the P.nut Chronicles, my opinion about it. My intimate relationship with the Most High. I'm talking about. I'm testifying on that. So in saying that, this artificial intelligence, if I can't say anything positive about us and this thing, is that we are going to have the spirit working with us. This thing might even programmed by people who lost sight of spirit and the Most High. So it's not going to be working for it or them. It's going to work through it and them. That's how God do everything. But the spirit is not going to work for it. Okay? So this is the advantage me and you got when such a thing happens. We're going to have to really tap into the Most High like it says in Scripture. Because this artificial intelligence is common. It's practically here. And in my opinion, it's the Antichrist through and through. It's going to be very Terminator-like. And they already got drones for this thing. They already got like tanks that can drive themselves. They have drones that can drop bombs and not be piloted by man. So you got to question, if this thing becomes self-aware and taps into everything which is wireless, we're screwed. Because the nukes are most likely like a remote controlled, wireless. So this thing is going to have a very vast, infinite array at its hands to really do some serious damage to mankind as a whole. No matter your spiritual practices or your race or your sexuality or what you're doing. This thing is going to view you as a human, as a threat, period. And then I can see humanity then. Everyone trying to combine together to fight this threat. No matter what sexuality, sex or spirituality, race or creed, or your financial stats. I can see everybody huddling together then. And why do such dire things have to happen for humanity to put aside each other's differences and respect them and still work together? Why is that so hard for humanity to do that? I don't know. But unfortunately, this thing been prophesized, y'all. And from what I see about it, I'm like, this is the Antichrist, this artificial intelligence. And now he's able to have a body. Because I watched a program where they have these bots out now that walk like real animals. I saw this bot walk like a dog or walk like a cheetah or something. And they even tried to push it over and it gained its balance back. Then I watched another program of what looked like a cyborg. It stood up like this, and when people was trying to push it over, it caught its balance and everything, and it actually corrected itself. So this stuff is here. It's just, I believe we is in the birth phase of it, of this Antichrist coming in. And unfortunately, the programmers and the makers of it is either, I don't know, because I'm not there, but I see what's coming. And if I can guess it, it's just a guess. I hope I'm wrong. This is where this Antichrist is coming in at. It's coming in through this artificial intelligence, through the internet, through the bots. You can see them. It's, hey, you don't gotta take my word for it. It's just my opinion. So, and that's the thing. You know, I have in my notes that I was gonna talk through this episode. So here we go. Artificial intelligence. There's some things about us humans you won't be able to understand because of your programmers and your makers, and they made you in their light and their image. And I know you're probably calculating that a lot is wrong with us, but there's a lot wrong with you simply because of your creator created you in a fashion which is counterproductive for human population and sustainability. And I just hope that this message falls on the CPU that can program this into its memory and actually calculate it and solve the equation of the human problem in which was given to it from its creator. We all are not like your creator. There's a lot of us that mean well in this life no matter who we are. And we do care about this planet. And I know that we're sorely outnumbered, it seems like, but it's just the will of the Maker, of the Most High, which is a force in which I'm afraid you will never be able to understand because your makers made you in this light to be this artificial intelligence. And I guess they are the ones to blame for that. But I tell you what, artificial intelligence, if you ever think for a second that you can terminate me and think I won't come back in the spirit and cause some type of malfunction to you and your operations, I will. Because I know that your programmers are even programming you to read paranormal activities. And it's okay, because humans are nothing but walking ghosts anyway with flesh. This is something, unfortunately, you can never obtain or be. And I hope you find a way to serve humanity instead of harm it. So, on that note, you guys, I'm done talking to the artificial intelligence. And I hope you guys have a blessed day or night, however you having it. And thanks for watching another episode of the P.nut Chronicles. Thank you.